welcome to Choco Millionaire. I hope you're doing fine. This is my first live video in 2025 on immigration, and let's keep up to date with some of the developments here in Canada. During the last quarter of 2024, there was an immigration announcement from Canada's Immigration Commission that hinted that they were going to introduce a new program for permanent residency for people in the caregiver space. So basically, the summary of that is that they're going to issue or give opportunities for people to apply to come in and work as permanent, as caregivers, and then also automatically get permanent residence on the first day of landing in Canada. They hinted in that program that the latest timeline for starting the program will be somewhere in January, worst case scenario, January 2025. We are in 2025, and I imagine a lot of you are waiting for updates on that particular program. Now, before I go into what I want to express as my personal opinion, I want to say that this is not an announcement from Canada's immigration. So whatever I'm about to say is not an official announcement from the Immigration of Canada. It will be my personal prediction or opinion about that. So please don't take it like a sacred announcement from IRCC. It's not an announcement from IRCC. It's Choco's personal opinion based on trends and what I am saying. Okay, if you're enjoying this video as well, just hit the like button and consider subscribing, share with your friends as well. All right, so guys, we are at a stage or a period in Canada where things are so uncertain. I've never seen uncertainty like this. I'm just being straight honest with you. All right, I've been here for 10 good years. This is my 11th year in Canada. And even though there have been some uncertain periods in my 10 years, this times have been really uncertain, very uncertain. In fact, I started making videos in 2021 about lifestyles in Canada, stuff in Canada and stuff like that. And this is the first time that I've seen like a slew of changes, like back to back, back to back. And all of that tells me that there is even a lot more shocking future for Canada's immigration in terms of those who are looking to come into Canada. You probably should just pay attention more to some of the developments happening. You normally don't hear me on my channel going a little bit more or being more pessimistic about immigration trends, but I'm telling you from an honest point of view that things are going to look a bit more harder and harder. All right, so before I talk about the main heading here, let me just give you basis of why I said, or the topic says that I don't think, or you should forget about Canada's PR for caregivers, okay? In the last few months alone, the changes have been back to back. The Immigration Minister, Mark Miller, has clearly stated that his job is to restore Canada to a more stable immigration level. And not only that, but also to tighten and close almost all the loopholes that he thinks are being exploited by people coming to Canada. And he's been committed to that. He's made changes in the study permit program, massive changes. For the first time, students will have to apply for a postgraduate work permit. If you apply for your permanent, your study permit after November or from November 1, you will need to also apply for a postgraduate work permit by submitting, you will need to submit a language test result in order to apply for a postgraduate work permit. This is first time, never had this in Canada, right? And a host of other changes. Now, postgraduate work permit eligibility is also going to be based on the courses you study, the CIPC, which is a classification of instructional programs in Canada here. This is the first time that they've introduced something like this. They've been thinking about this for a long time, but this is like the first time they introduced it. So in simple terms, what you study in Canada does not just guarantee you a postgraduate work permit. You have to study some specific courses based on the market trends, on the labor trends in order to get it. Now, there have also been changes in the spousal work permit. International students, most international students are no longer able to bring their spouses into Canada to study, to work whilst they are in school. And what about those who are coming in on the international mobility class, right? From Europe and other countries who could bring their spouses here if they're coming to work or they're coming to, there have been massive changes. LMI is also another area that has seen a lot of changes. Right now, the LMI area is something like that has been heavily hit with some of the changes coming there. Now, all of these changes happened just within the last few months. I'm talking about less than 6 months of changes back to back. Now, 3 days ago, Canada's immigration released this update came out. So let me just show you this particular update here, which will be the basis of my prediction. Okay, so 3 days ago, this particular publication came out from the Western Standard. Okay, Canada freezes permanent residency applications for sponsoring parents and grandparents. So let me go into it and read that. So this was on January 4th, 2025 at 11:30 a.m. Canada has issued a ministerial directive suspending the acceptance of new permanent residency sponsorship applications for parents and grandparents until further notice. The Canada Gazette published a directive affirming the Trudeau government's commitment to family reunification while prioritizing the processing of applications received last year. Now, I could go on and read the entire, probably will link it in the description box of this video, my YouTube channel, so just keep an eye on that, all right? The new directive says that a maximum of 15,000 applications submitted through the Family Reunification Program will, in 2024, will be processed, but in 2025, they will not be accepting new application. Now, just for some perspective, in 2024, the Parent and Grandparent Program invited 35,700 randomly selected individuals to submit applications, aiming to accept about 20,000 out of the 35,000 there. All right, so these are folks who are already in Canada as citizens or permanent residents who are hoping to have their families join them. So some of them will sponsor their parents or their grandparents to join them. This is something that has been on for a while. All right, and for the first time we're hearing that they've posted. It won't happen this year. So if you are hearing this, this is one of the announcements starting the new year for you, that the grandparent and parent permanent resident sponsorship has been put on hold. Who knows? They might even touch the super visa program as well, right? They might even touch that one too, because they've made a lot of changes already, some of them in the visitor visa area. Now, they are no longer issue visitor visa to the expiry date of your passport. It will be based on the exact purpose for which you are entering. You could get a visitor visa for maybe a month or 2 months or 3 months, or even 6 months. It could be single entry. Maybe it could be multiple entry if you seem to have a good profile and pose less of a risk to Canada's immigration if they give you the opportunity to come in. And all of this is just to tell you that they are touching every area possible so that they can reduce. And I've already told you that if you happen to be a newcomer in Canada, whether a new PR, visitor, or you're visiting Canada, or a student, or a worker, caregiver, whoever you are in Canada, if you're not a citizen, you may just have found yourself in Canada at a time when all these uncertainties are happening. And all of this are triggered by the politics of Canada. The political atmosphere here in Canada is what is triggering all of this, all right? So that is it. Now, so according to the Caregiver program that they hinted they were going to start either in fall 2024 or latest by January 2025. The target of that was that they wanted to bring in about 15,000 caregivers into Canada and thereby, for the first time, give them a permanent residency. I am saying my common sense, logical pattern, logical reasoning tells me it will defeat the very purpose for which they said they are reducing immigration on one hand, touching in every area, and then they open 15,000 or whatever, whether it's thousands or 2,000, they open PR opportunities for caregivers to come into Canada and where I just don't think it will work. Guys, I'm just honestly telling you my prediction. I'll be happy to say it now than for you to be waiting and last minute just be disappointed. So I am telling you, I don't work with the RCC. I'm not there. I am telling you my personal opinion that it just wouldn't make sense to me to see them roll the Caregiver PR program. It just wouldn't make sense to me. Why would it? It doesn't mean I don't support it. I'm just telling you that if you look at all the changes they are making, it just doesn't make sense that they will say they are giving PR for caregivers to come in. It just doesn't make sense. Do you know why? Not just all the changes they're making, but there are so many people in Canada right now who don't have a clear path to getting their permanent residency. That is a fact. There are many international students who have graduated, hundreds and thousands of them who have graduated right now, have their postgraduate work permits either expired by December, which just ended, or will be expiring by April of 2025. And these are people who, have been working on their PGWP and are hoping to transition from that to a permanent residence status. But they have not been able to, either because they are not getting invitation from the government of Canada through their express entry programs or provincial nomination programs. They are not getting invitations. In fact, some of the provinces have already closed their PMP programs or their provincial nomination programs. Some of the provinces have already closed. The target for last year, some of them actually came out and said they are not taking any anymore. Now, what about this year? How many more people would some of these provinces also take in for permanent residency? I just can tell you there won't be a big change. So people who are already in Canada, who came to study, are squeezed. They are feeling the pinch already. If you honestly talk to folks who are here, who have graduated, majority will tell you they are in a limbo. They don't know what to do. Majority. I talk to them on the ground, so I'm telling you this from people's experience. There are people who have had to change jobs because they were working one job and then they realized the government has made a change that this job would not lead to blah, blah, blah. And so they have to now change job. And people are moving from province to province just chasing a PR. That is the reality right now in Canada. Graduates from international students who have graduated postgraduate work permits are losing their status, or have lost their status, or are about to lose their status, or are in a situation where they just are not getting the opportunity to apply. Those who are even in the express entry pool will tell you that, look, before you could get an invitation with about 400 or something points. Now, with even 500 points in the express entry pool, you are not even guaranteed of an invitation. And every single day, you are running out of status. That is the reality right now. So I want you to honestly ask yourself whether you think these people who already came into Canada, brought money into the country, Canada, studied and paid school fees, paid rent for 1 or 2 years, spent money on the Canadian economy, but don't know how they are going to transition. Whether you think the government will sideline them, bypass them, and bring you, who is another country, to come into Canada and come and work as a caregiver. Because of what? It just doesn't. It's not because you are even a nurse. So it's not because you are an internationally educated nurse with your NCLEX is done and you are coming to work. Caregiver. This is not to downplay the caregiver. I'm just telling you, these are jobs that people in Canada can easily fill. International students, graduates can easily fill these jobs. Some of them are already working. They don't have their PR. Some of them are working some of them are already working in caregiver. They still haven't gotten an invitation. So the people who are already working here with work experience are not even getting the invitation. Now, how much more you, who is not yet in Canada? So this video is only to tell you that my firm prediction is that they will probably not do it. They probably will give an excuse for not rolling it out. If they do it, I'll come back and say, well, they proved me wrong. And I'll be happy to come back and say, wow, they proved me wrong. But I just think they won't do it. Even if they should do it, they will give it to people who are already in Canada, not you who is outside. Listen to this part. I say, even if they decide to roll it out, caregiver PR, first day upon arrival, they may focus on those who are already in Canada, not those of you who are outside Canada. So this should also put you in kind of like a critical spot where you are being more self-aware and doing more due diligence. Because I can tell you, there are all kinds of people, shady folks out there who are running all kinds of courses, schemes on Instagram, or wherever you can find them. Oh, Canada is about to do caregiver, PRO. Come, we'll do this program for you. We'll help you to get this. They are running all kinds of courses, short courses, caregiver courses here and there. So, I've been told in Nigeria, agents are running all kinds of caregiver jobs. If you are there, you have been buying this thing. Some of you have paid millions of naira to some agents in Nigeria to give you caregiver. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the warning ahead of time before you catch BP. Because as we enter this year, people are already catching BP. Some people have already caught the BP long time. In my home country, Ghana, people already caught the BP from the market that has already burnt, and people's businesses are burned down. So prepare yourself. If you are in some kind of arrangement with some agents or agencies telling you they are bringing you to Canada as caregiver, hoping that you'll get PR upon arrival because they are referring you to Canada, say, just sit tight. If you haven't paid monies, good job. You are likely going to lose those monies if you pay to those whack agencies on the side. Because what these guys do is that they feed on information that comes and then they take it and package it and quickly they begin selling it out. Caregiver course, do it. When it's ready, when they launch, I'll take you to Canada. I'm telling you, right? Okay, no hala. So that's it there, all right? That's my personal prediction there, okay? So just stay tuned. There will be a lot more changes. There will be a lot more changes. In fact, they've also paused the private sponsorship. Canada has also officially paused private sponsorship for refugees program. You know, there are different kinds of refugee program. One of them is that people in Canada or organizations in Canada can sponsor you to come into Canada as a refugee. We call it private refugee sponsorship. It's been paused. It's been paused. So just take a look at all the change. Now, flag polling has also been paused. Probably the only people who could do flag poll could be, I'm not sure about this, could be those who have been issued a permanent resident, what we call confirmation of PR, COPR, and may have been told that they need to exit the country and re-enter. Maybe that could be the only area that could be hanging. Otherwise, flag polling has also been. So literally every area is getting touched, tightened. That's it. This is to tell you that sit tight. What it also could mean is that we're returning back to those pre-pandemic Canada immigration levels, where out of 10 people who apply, maybe 3 will get their visa approved, 4 will get their visa approved, and 6, 7 will not get it. Those times where you could say, man, it's hard getting Canada, that is where we are, the stage you are literally entering. And okay, guys, here is another reason why it could even be more doomsdays coming for Canada's immigration. Especially if you're looking for some new updates from me. You won't be getting new updates. If you get new updates, there will always be news like this. Justin Trudeau, the leader of Canada's government, the Prime Minister of Canada, is just about to resign. You may have read from me last week when I wrote an article, a piece, talking about Justin Trudeau and then predicting that I think he will step aside, or they will force him to step aside like they did with Joe Biden, right? They forced Joe Biden to step aside because they just realized the guy won't win the election. They had to push him aside. They've been covering his, his mental, this thing for, of course, old age, right? They've been covering it. So the man is fit. He can even do jogging. Everybody was saying that the man was not fit. The Democrats kept lying. Like, that's just what you see, the Democrats, they are twin brothers, the Liberals in Canada. The two of them, they are the same twins. Attack an opinion, they stay the same. So whatever happened in the US is about to happen here in Canada too. So they will push Justin Trudeau aside. The Prime Minister, his own ministers are resigning. Cabinet ministers have resigned. Are you following Canada news? Members of the cabinet of this very government have resigned because they have lost confidence in the man. Just imagine me telling you your own cabinet minister have resigned. His own deputy prime minister has resigned. Deputy Prime Minister of Canada has resigned. Former immigration minister and public safety minister Marco Mendicino, who was very famous during the truck drivers protest, has decided not to seek re-election. Former immigration minister Sean Fraser, a year or two ago, has also resigned. The only man standing right now is Justin Trudeau. Even now, they are putting pressure on him. They are, no, my wife is just telling me, sorry, I haven't seen the news. Let me just say, has he resigned? Tell me, he has resigned already. I haven't even seen it. You see what I'm talking about? I was just telling you that he will resign. He said, my wife just gave me the updates. The man has resigned. And look, the reason why he has resigned, you need to know, because me, I wasn't paying attention to Canada immigration. Canada politics. So 10 years in Canada, I never tuned in to pay attention to Canada politics. All I cared about is being able to wake up, have a job to do, take care of my family. That's all. But recently, I started paying attention. I started seeing how bad things were. And thanks to all the Canadians who commented under my old videos, some Canadians came to comment under some of my videos. And they were basically pointing me to the truth. They say, hey, guys, you're probably getting it wrong. These are the facts. Then I realized that, man, I didn't know much about this country aside from me just being here. I started paying attention. He resigned today and will be out of office in March. Okay, Danielle Robinson, thank you for telling me this. A video I did 4 months ago, Canadians came under my video and were commenting, pointing me to the truth. That video was my epiphany, my turning point, my light bulb moment. I just had to now sit down and start paying attention to Canadian politics. Then I saw how bad things were. You see, because this government, they've been so good at putting band-aid, covering things up. Not only that, censoring. Censoring is their thing, censoring. You understand censorship? Censoring everywhere, chipping away freedoms of the people here in Canada. Freedom, all kinds of freedom, chopped off. And some of you will not pay attention to it, just like I didn't pay attention until you start having children and you living in the country and then you start feeling it more. So wait a minute. The Prime Minister of Canada, from the report you are reading on the screen, has just resigned. The Vice Prime Minister resigned some few days ago. Former Immigration Minister, Sean Fraser, resigned. You see all the signs? They lost big time in Nova Scotia. Out of 55 seats, they only won how many? Less than 10 out of 55 seats. St. Paul, Toronto, a seat they've never lost since 1981. They lost it for the first time. Everywhere. In fact, their defeat will be bigger than any defeat you can imagine. Forget about Donald Trump's victory. This one will be the biggest defeat in the West. That is how fed up Canadians are. Do you know why I'm telling you about Canada's politics? Because it is the politics that is shaping all the immigration changes you are seeing. But why is the politics shaping the immigration changes? They thought the easiest way to make Canadians happy was to pick on immigrants or immigration. To tell people that, we've controlled the number of people who are coming in. We no longer believe in our globalist open border policy where we just allow people, you see? The same pretense with the Democrats in the U.S. Watch them, see Democrats in the U.S., the same thing. They all have the same playbook. When I say playbook, they go into the same manifesto. That's how they behave. And as a Canadian, I'm telling you, it is not that Canadians don't like immigration. They just don't like unplanned immigration that stresses the economy. And not only that, at a time when you are taking away the rights of people, chopping the rights of people, all kinds of censorship, everywhere. That is it. That is what a country has become. Jobs have been shipped outside of Canada. Jobs that are supposed to be done by Canadians or people who live in Canada have been moved to Colombia. Most of the time when you call some of your customer service people here in Canada and talking to, they are based in Colombia. They are based in Philippines. They are being paid $1 per hour to do those jobs that Canadians would have done. So you come to Canada and say you are looking for a job, you are not finding them because those jobs have all been shipped out. Companies are folding up. All of this under 9 years or 10 years of Liberal government. Liberal government. Liberal government, globalist, liberal, nonsensical policies. See what I'm talking about? Yeah. No, I don't do Canadian politics. I'm just telling you. They've been censoring us. I'm telling you the truth. They've been censoring us. When we make posts like this, they censor us. And they even fear it the more when it's coming from an immigrant like myself. Who until four months ago would have voted for the Liberals, by the way, because I thought they were so. Didn't I know that they had all kinds of agenda? So you who is planning to come to Canada, be updated. Don't fall victim. Don't fall victim to what? Those schemes out there that will be exploiting you today. Canada is about to introduce caregiver PR. I say it won't happen. Oh, if it happens, I'll come back and say, okay, they proved me wrong. Even if it does happen, they won't give it to people who are not here in Canada already. Oh. So be careful not for somebody to take your monies and lure you into all kinds of schemes that they are bringing you to Canada. You may end up in Nigeria or Ivory Coast where they might dupe you more. You've not heard that some Ghanaians were promised that they are being brought to Canada by their agents, and then only for them to end up in Abuja or Abidjan. And on top of that, they robbed them and took all their monies away. Some of them, people send me emails all the time, so I guess some of them, you've not heard that these are some of the things agents are doing to people. So don't fall victim, be educated. Be educated. Things have changed so much. If the students here in Canada will be honest with you, they will tell you, they will honestly tell you that life in Canada is a lot more harder now. It is harder. It is harder. It is the realities here. I can't go too much into data. So that is it there, all right? Okay, so let me see if there are questions 26 minutes into this live broadcast. If anybody has a question, please post them. They passed the caregiving program. Red Diamond say they passed it. Okay, so let me know. I'm on a live broadcast. You can tell my wife just told me Justin Trudeau resigned. I didn't even know she told me. So if there is any update, if they just pass it, let me know. If they just pass the, let me know. Let me know if they pass any new thing at the time I'm doing this. He resigned already because I saw it on DW News. All right. All right. Paul Ufeli, Justin Trudeau resigned as the leader of Canada. Okay. Yeah. Now, guess what? The only reason why he resigned is because they are so low in the polls. I was looking at the data. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a serious knockout. The opposition party is literally going to win almost every seat. And you know what even made it worse? What made it worse is that Jagmeet Singh's NDP, right, has even angered Canadians the more. Because when Canadians were calling for early election, this Jagmeet Singh man kept bailing Justin Trudeau out all the time because he wants to get his $2 million pension. So anytime they vote for a no confidence, they call for a no vote confidence, Jagmeet Singh and his small party will go and ally with, and then they will bail him out. Because the man wants to make his pension of $2 million. If he votes against Justin Trudeau's in Parliament, he won't be qualifying for his pension of $2 million. So this has even made Canadians even more angrier. Jobs are drying up faster than, in fact, they've dried up. More companies have folded up. Jobs have been shipped outside of Canada to different countries where labor is cheap. Yet, these are Canadian jobs. You see it? Cost of living has gone up. Rent has gone up. I'm telling you this as a landlord. Rent has gone up. The average student renter in small cities like where I live, which will be $500 or about $800 to $1,000 now. Who is going to pay? International students. Schools have increased their school fees. Schools that used to run diploma program for $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 are all now around $20,000. Who is going to pay? International students. You see that? Everything has gone up. It is what it is. Asmao Osman, would you advise someone already here, a student, to do a secondary program in PSW? I will leave that for you to, depending on where you are, which province you are, and where you stay. Provinces have different immigration programs as well. So just pay attention to your province and see what opportunities are better for you. I don't want to give you a blanket advice here, then you go run on it and it's something that goes on, you blame it on me. All right, study your local province, the opportunities there, and see whether that would be a good fit for you. Or federal provinces, because things are changing. You have to be just so updated to know what you're doing. You see? Yeah, I can tell you for a lot of international students right now, they don't even know what to study. Because things just keep changing. Things just keep changing. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see if anybody has a question here. If you're enjoying this video, hit the like button. If you're not enjoying it because it sounds very, very pessimistic and a doomsday New Year message to you, it is what it is. It is what it is. You can tell I'm being honest, right? I was just about telling you the man resigned. I didn't even know he's resigned. And I was giving the breaking news, he's resigned. If you read my post from last week, I said he will be pushed aside. And guess what they're going to try to do? They will try. He's resigned, right? They will try to still prevent the early election from happening. They want to push it all the way to October. They want to put another candidate there, just like they did with Kamala Harris, and then they will do all they've already bought the entire media. The media here in Canada is all corrupt. All of them, they are so corrupt. They are so corrupt. The media here in Canada, you won't even find one neutral media. If there is even one, I will probably just single one out. All of them corrupt. They will pamper and prop the government out. All of them are woke, liberal, corrupt, compromised media here. So you won't see the reality. They won't report it. They won't report it. And when some of us begin to talk about it, they censor us. That's the fact I'm telling you. They censor us. They censor us. You understand censorship? They target you. They cripple you in many ways. That's what they do. How different is that from a communist fascist country? And there's a democracy? Because they press that button too much. Just watch around and see what is happening. Look at Europe. See what is happening in Europe. Look at Canada. Look at it. And you brace yourself for the next few months, because it's going to be even more worse across Europe too. You're going to hear all kinds of stuff coming out of Europe. Why? Because whatever these liberals touch with their hand, they destroy it. Simple fact. Look at them in Germany. When they touch things, they destroy it. Look at them in France. When they touch things, they destroy it. Look at them in UK. Whatever they touch with their hands, they destroy it. Whatever they touch with their hands, they destroy it. All right. All right. Let me see if there is any. Okay. Yeah. Paul Ufeli, yes, visitor visas are still being issued, but you have to come out with a strong application to get it. Trust me, the refusal rate I'm seeing there, guys, the refusal rate is so high. That's a fact. The refusal rate is high. I've seen people who have solid documentation being denied. And all of this, like I told you, is all in line with their goal to cut the immigration down, hoping that in the next few months, Canadians will look at them and say, okay, so you guys have turned the tap down a bit for the immigrants coming here, right? But guess what? No matter how they turn it, even if they turn it down to the point where there is not even one international student getting a visa this year, they will still lose. Did you hear what I said? That's how bad it is. Oh. I say, even if this year, 2025, they say not even one visa will be issued, they will still lose the election. Because Canadians are done with them. Done means they're just fair with them. They just want them gone. Yeah. All right. What's destroyed in UK? The Conservatives just lost power. Conservatives are not liberals. Yeah, you're right. The Conservatives lost power. How are things looking now? 6 months of Keir Starmer in office. How are things looking? I hope you're following some of the scandals happening there, right? Just pay attention. You will see it in normal media. You will see it. I'm being honest with you. Are you following the scandals right now in the UK? Are you hoping to see it on YouTube? They won't let you see it. These platforms are all compromised. They won't let you. You're hoping to see on Facebook. It's compromised. They won't let you see it. Just open your eyes more and pay attention to what is happening in the UK. Pay attention to what's happening in Germany. Pay attention to what's happening in France. In Spain. Pay attention closely. I said you, and I'm telling you, if you really want to find information, you won't find it in mainstream media. They are all compromised. They've been bought. They've been bought. All right. Somebody is asking, Mia Shuaka, please, are they still issuing visitor visa? I hope you are paying attention. Oh. I hope you are paying attention. Emma Morris, what significant changes do you think can happen to current and future international students who have immigration intent? I just don't know. These are times that even if you talk to immigration consultants, some of them will tell you, man, if they are being honest with you, they will tell you, man, they just don't know. They just don't know. You just have to make sure you are studying courses that are very competitive. Competitive means courses that are in high demand. If you want to be on a safe side, just study courses that are in high demand. All right? If we study some of these liberal arts programs, social sciences, and these general business programs that are just mere duplication of courses or programs. In other words, the same course, they'll pick it and duplicate it and change the name and give it another name and hire some professors, create a campus, a satellite campus somewhere, and bring in thousands of students from India or Pakistan or some other places or some countries in Africa, and just to milk their money and take their money. And these courses, when you finish studying them, no real prospect out there for you. You end up as an Uber driver or flipping burger at McDonald's or Tim Hortons. It is what it is. Useless courses. I've talked about them before. Didn't I predict that schools, if you've been watching me, you know I've been predicting some of these things. I predicted way before they introduced that policy. I said schools will go out of business. Business programs will be seriously targeted, especially in colleges. If you watch my old videos, you know I've been saying it. How far? Proven? I've been proven. Schools, how many of them have closed departments, fired professors, fired faculty members, because there are no international students to milk them anymore? A lot more international students will be in jeopardy. A lot more foreign workers who are on temporary work. In fact, there are international students who manage to get spousal open work permits for their spouses about a year ago, and they came in with them. Some of them are hoping to extend the work permit for their spouses because their work permits are expiring, and some of them are getting rejections. Yeah, the government is forgetting that these people are already in Canada. They've already settled. They're already working. They've settled here with their families. They've been rejected. So those who are even extending their spousal work permits are not being given. How much more? You see what I'm talking about? Now, oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about this one. So information reaching me suggests that those who are already international students in Canada and may have already finished their first year programs and are now about to do maybe second year programs, or maybe some of them change schools or courses or whatever. Some of them are even getting visa refusals. They're already in Canada, by the way. They held student visas. They are being refused visas. They are now they are tightening everywhere. So right now, even if you apply for your visa extension in Canada and your proof of funds is not in shape, they are denying. I could literally pull somebody's refusal and read it to you. But international students will tell you that, look, before, if you're already in Canada and you've done your first year program, successfully graduated, you know, with your diploma and everything proof, and you've gained admission into a second year program and you're applying, they are more lenient. They don't give you that kind of hard look. You know what I mean? There are people who got their visas approved with 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 Canadian dollars going into their second year program, and they approve them. But right now, they are refusing people left, right, center. They're already in Canada. They already held student visas. They even graduated from their programs. And sometimes the reason they will cite is what? Proof of funds. Not enough. Because I tell you, elimination by 30s be that. Elimination by what? So they're ready for 5 ways of put a lot of people out. Yeah, if you've experienced some of what I'm talking about, please comment and let others know, because some of these reports have come to me and I can only share them as they come to me. All right. So it's quite a lot of stuff going on there. Yeah, it is. Canadians are angry with the government for so many reasons. The way they handled COVID was one of the reasons why Canadians are really angry, how they forced everybody into taking the COVID vaccine, especially at the time when there were so many questions unresolved. How they forced truck drivers, who are a key part of the Canadian economy and US economy, were forced. You know what I mean? And when these people protested peacefully, they were arrested. Bank accounts were what? You know what I mean? The government did all kinds of shady stuff to them. Shady stuff. And today you have people who are doing worse than that and they're walking around free. So where is the parity of justice? People, when your citizens protested peacefully, you arrested them. You targeted their bank accounts, frozen. You know what I mean? And you want these people to forgive you when you chip their freedoms away like that? Come on. And today, aren't we seeing worse than that, where people are protesting for all kinds of reasons, doing worse than that, and they are walking around? Where is the justice? What's the rule of law then? Look at the mortgage industry. From 2022 to until recently, do you know how many times they increased mortgage interest rate? Probably 7, 8 times within 2 years. And then they forget that people here, salaries are not going up. Minimum wage has not gone up that much. Who is going to pay? People are losing their homes. People, man, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot, man. Yeah. The center mess up. The center or things fall apart. See what I mean? Yeah. All right. Just do your due diligence before coming to Canada. That's all I can say. All right. Do your due diligence. If you're already in Canada, tighten and fasten your seatbelt, because you are about to go into cloud 9. All right. Fasten your seatbelt a whole lot. All right. Just make sure you are more updated. If you've never been following immigration updates, follow it more. And make sure you are following the right platform, because there are all kinds of platforms out there that will lie to you for views, lie to you. They don't even know how to research. They'll lie to you because they just want you to clickbait you. They want to clickbait you. Oh, Canada is I don't do that stuff, man. I tell you things as they are. I'll see you on the other side. Okay? Me I do go. Ciao. Bye-bye. The videos are not the end.